The hope until there's evidence found saying otherwise, there's always hope that somebody knows where he is.
In April of 2001, Becky Kleino's 20-year-old son disappeared from his Skidmore home.
I don't know what happened. I don't know.
The town of Skidmore, Missouri is probably like a lot of very small towns in America. Everyone knows each other, young residents would rather live anywhere else, and it has that old-fashioned feel. Located on the northern western part of the state, most probably have never even heard of it, even Missourians. It's almost 150 years old, but doesn't even have 250 residents. It's the kind of town you wouldn't pass by on a road trip, only maybe stopping to fill up on gas, or drop by on one of those eerie diners. However, the town is known for its dark history. But this thing isn't a monument or restaurant like many small towns have, but a missing person. Branson Perry grew up here. He went to the local high school and took up Hapkido. By all accounts, Branson wasn't the person to make enemies. He was quiet and kind. So this makes his disappearance upsetting. But on April 11th, 2001, Branson did just that. It was a simple walk to the shed to drop off something, but he never came back. It's been over 24 years. Some of his loved ones have passed away, but his case goes on. Despite hundreds of leads and some suspects, the case remains unsolved. So, how does a nice, quiet, small town boy just disappear? This is a story on how a young man vanished on his own lawn, dropping off something. This is the disappearance of Branson Perry. But before I begin, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications as well. Branson was born on February 24th, 1981, to Bob Perry and Becky Kleino. He grew up in the small town, spending his whole life there. His house was located at 304 West Oak Drive on a small little street. It wasn't the most exciting place to live, but it was home. He was described as being a rather quiet person, but also adventurous. He wasn't really social, but did have a local group of friends. He was seen as helpful and respectful to the adults around him. While he was usually quiet, he could be funny once someone grew to know him. He went to Norway Holt High School, and did well, graduating in 1999. He had a black belt in Hapkido, where he showed discipline and focus. However, he wasn't an athlete, still being a laid-back guy. His parents were divorced, which was a little hard on him, like any kid, but came to accept it. Despite this, he had a good relationship with both of them. He also had health problems. Branson had a heart condition called tachycardia, which made his heart go fast. It would sometimes make him tired and lighthearted. Thankfully though, it wasn't life-threatening. He took up some odd jobs after school, such as working at a petting zoo and roofing. In the days before he disappeared, friends said he seemed distracted and trying to figure out his life. He talked about getting a new job, moving to a new city, and even joining the Navy. He didn't drink much, but there were rumors he did drugs. That wasn't the only rumor. Some friends think he was probably gay or bi, but this was never confirmed. Not long before he disappeared, his father had to go to the hospital for heart surgery and was his caretaker and house cleaner. This would lead to his disappearance. Overall, Branson was a quiet, nice, responsible, and wondering what to do with his adult life. It was possible soon he would figure out what to do, but that would never happen. Branson would never get to figure out what to do with his life. Soon, he would be gone forever, and all it took was a trip to his shed. April 11th, 2001. It started like any other spring day. The people in Skidmore went about their day. Branson would be busy this day. Soon, his father would be discharged from the hospital in St. Joseph, so he was getting the house ready for his return. He was excited to have him back, though maybe a little tired from all the hard work lately. Bob's gray Chevy Astro van was having electrical problems at the time, so Branson hired some mechanics to come look at it. They arrived that morning as Branson worked on his house, occasionally checking in. Branson's friend, Gina Crawford, came to help him that day. They would spend the day cleaning. Gina would later admit to the police both of them did meth that day. At 3 o'clock, Branson told Gina he needed to go to the shed in the yard to get some jumper cables. This would be the last time she or anyone would see him alive. No one heard a struggle. No one heard a car. There was just nothing. There seems to be confusion when it comes to Gina. Did she just stay in the house when he didn't return and later leave? Or did she leave when he left? He was reported 6 days later by his parents. But she didn't say anything? It seems Branson told her he had other stuff to do as well. She saw him put the cables in the shed and left. So maybe she thinks he lost track of time and forgot about her, so she left. The next day his grandma visited. She was confused to find the door unlocked and he wasn't there. His dad's car was there and personal items. He left no notes. But she didn't panic and didn't report him. As days passed, people began to wonder where he is. Calls go unanswered and no one has seen him. By the 17th, both Bob and Becky became concerned when no one has seen him. They officially reported him as missing. The local police went on a 15-mile search to find him. They looked around the house, neighbors, and nearby roads and found nothing. There was no sign of a struggle in the house or shed. They then looked at abandoned buildings, fields, farms, and more, but came up empty. Search dogs were used, but could not find a scent. His personal items were in the house, and no money seemed to be gone. Oddly enough, the jumper cables were not in the shed, but weeks later, they were again in their proper place. It seems no fingerprints were ever found. It seemed Branson didn't have his own car, so if he went somewhere, it would have to be his dad's car, or walking. Branson was just gone. His family said this was unlike him. He tried to keep in touch with his loved ones. His family was confused and heartbroken. His father felt guilty. He couldn't help, as he was still recovering. His mom tried to get the media involved to take it more seriously. Friends helped by looking and putting up posters. Neighbors, Gina, the mechanics, and others were interviewed. They gave as much details as they could. Gina did say Branson took something out of the cabinet, ran out, and didn't tell her what he did when he returned. One of the mechanics was looking in the cabinet and told her they were looking for nothing. Next, Branson went to the shed to return the cables and would come back, and she never saw him again, nor the mechanics. One neighbor had supposedly drugged him and had sex with him after Branson agreed, but Branson confessed to his father he felt like he was taken advantage of. Still, there was nothing. It's been almost 25 years now, and Branson is still gone. How could a man just disappear, putting away cables? Did he secretly run away? Or is there something darker? Branson's family never stopped looking. Despite being sick, Bob did as best as he could. His mom never gave up, getting any help she could. Sadly, this wasn't the only tragedy that struck the family. Bob would pass away in 2004 from his condition. Sad that his son was still gone and could do nothing to help. Becky would continue to search looking with people and writing a blog called Bring Branson Home. She died in 2011. Her obituary stated her son died before her. It seems she accepted he was probably gone. His grandma died in 2015, but this wasn't the worst. This family not only had a disappearance, but a murder. Branson's cousin and grandma's granddaughter, Bobby Jo Stinnett, was murdered on December 16th, 2004 She was born on December 4th, 1981, and was 23 years old and pregnant. She went to the same high school as Branson. Bobby met a young woman named Lisa Montgomery at a dog show and talked on a dog chat room called Ratter Chatter. Lisa said she wanted to sell a dog to her, and they agreed to meet. While at her house, Lisa strangled her and then cut her baby out. Bobby's mom found her daughter dead and called the police. Lisa told her husband she gave birth and she named the child Abigail, but police would arrest her, and a DNA test would prove it was not hers. In 2007, she was found guilty and sentenced to death. She was executed in 2021. The baby was returned to her father and named Victoria. It's insane to think that this family had two people who had a bad fate. One murdered and one unknown. Bobby was brutally murdered and her baby was kidnapped, where Lisa intended to raise it as her own. Branson disappeared and was never seen again. It's amazing to see this small town that doesn't even have 300 people had two crimes on the same family. Branson just wanted to help take care of his father. Like many young men, he had ideas, but chose to help. But despite all the leads, his case remains unsolved. However, there are theories. Some people think they do know what happened to him, but what is it? Some have guessed maybe Branson ran away. Maybe he was tired of the small town life and wanted to start a new one. But Branson wasn't that kind of person. He was taking care of his father and was looking forward to have him back. While he did think about moving at one point, he was happy. He didn't take any of his belongings as well. Maybe he crossed the wrong person. Maybe he was abducted by a stranger, or saw something he wasn't supposed to see. Though he didn't have enemies, and stranger abductions are more common on women. In 2004, a man named Jack Rain Rogers was questioned. He worked at a church and had a criminal past, including kidnapping and assault, and lived close to the area. He tried to perform an unlicensed surgery on someone, but what struck most were stories he wrote about a young blonde male hitchhiker in northwest Missouri who gets murdered. A necklace similar to one Branson owned was found. He denied involvement though, and never enough evidence was found. Of course, Branson was in much better shape than he was, and even Branson's mother would later admit that she doesn't believe he was involved. He was sentenced to prison for 30 years for another crime. Still, many think he knows something. There's also the drug theory. Maybe he took some and overdosed, and the buyer freaked out and took him. It's also said there was a drug house not too far off where people bought some. One witness said they might have seen him near the house that day. The house burned down sometime between April 11th and April 16th. Some believe he was murdered and his body was cremated in there, leaving no evidence. But there was no proof he had an addiction. Skidmore also has a rather dark history. In 1981, a man who was a bully named Ken Rex McElroy was murdered on Main Street in front of 60 witnesses, but everyone claims they didn't see a thing. Some think there are residents who know something but keep quiet to protect themselves or family. Investigators have supposedly gotten conflicting stories. In 2024, a new lead came up. Two witnesses said that they think there was a body buried in Quitman, a town not far off, but the area they pointed to was checked and nothing was found. The police do have suspects, but not enough evidence for an arrest. So, was it foul play? Drug-related? Running away? We may never know. Still, police and loved ones haven't given up and take up whatever leads they get. Maybe it's something not looked at yet. Hopefully a promising lead will come up soon and help this case. Branson would be almost 45 today. It was supposed to be a simple walk to the shed. He told Gina he would return, but he never did. Branson was a young man. Branson was a young man, still fresh out of school, with his whole life ahead of him. Instead, he wound up on a missing poster. While there are multiple leads, there is nothing strong enough to make an arrest. His killer is still out there, maybe even plotting another victim. Branson's parents never lived to see their son come back, or even his case overall solved. What makes it sadder is this family had more tragedy, with Bobby a few years later. Could both Branson and Bobby's case be connected? Branson's case didn't get national news when it first happened, but in more recent years it has gotten more interest, especially online. Maybe the right person online could find the missing clue. Many have done so before, so maybe it will happen to Branson.
Branson Perry's friend Gina is doing what she can for him.
The family, and I feel like it needs to stay in the media to let everyone know that we haven't gave up and we are still looking for him and for answers. Branson doesn't just leave and not come back. That's just unlike him. We did a lot of things together. We were pretty much inseparable for a long time. Branson was always barefooted. Always. Or he might have some flip-flops on.
The memories are some medication, but they don't take the sting out of not knowing what happened, where Perry is.
We want answers. And I don't honestly think that it will ever get easier and bring Branson home to where I have a place to go see him. His brother has a place to go see him.
But what do you think? Do you think any of the listed theories happened, or do you have your own? What do you think of Bobby's case? Do you think this case is solvable? Let me know down below. Hopefully, soon, it will be. And remember kids, don't do drugs, okay?